Hey, what's up, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers? It's your boy Folllow77, your only friend these YouTube streets. And I want to talk about another example of lack of critical thinking skills among gamers, the use of emotion and feelings and stuff, which is really common, I think, in today's society. So I preface that with this. So if you haven't paid attention, uh, a couple of days ago, news announcement about got the Nines being only playable at 30 frames because of graphics, yada yada yada. Community's upset. Well, one developer from Rocksteady, while not talking about the game itself, he wanted to address how a lot of gamers don't understand what developers go through to try to get those high frame rates, especially while pushing graphical fidelities on these consoles and stuff like that. So that's really the point he was trying to make. It started a thread, and then within the thread, he mentioned how Xbox Series S is pretty much a potato. To paraphrase, pretty much saying that it's holding the more powerful consoles back, Series X and PlayStation 5, and that developers have to just cater to it. And other developers chimed in, like this video, yada yada yada. Of course, when somebody cracks a joke, takes pot shots, or makes a negative comment over these consoles, many people take it too far, right? Uh, Huge backlash among, obviously, within the Xbox community. Uh, Many people, within them, within the Xbox community, were at in Rocksteady saying that they're no longer going to buy their game because they have unprofessional, biased developers, yada, yada, yada. And that's what I want to talk about. Many people in the community saying that developers should be unbiased and not make comments like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, a developer should be unbiased and not make comments like that. And I'm thinking, at what point did we get to in this gaming community where a developer is speaking on technology, good or bad, must factor in whether he's biased or unbiased? I remember during the PS3 gen, the console just launched. It was maybe about a month after launch, maybe two. Gabe Newell straight up came out and said that the PS3 was just a mistake and Sony just needs to scrap it and do over. And he was pretty much right on the money, in the sense that it was a very difficult architecture. The CPU really made things hard for developers in the industry. It was just not a well designed console in terms of architecture. And it's proven to this day, because notice Sony still have not been able to push to be able to play PS3 games natively on the PlayStation 5. So the effects of the PlayStation 3 lingers on generations later, right? So he was right. If that statement he made, if he were to make it today, people will bash him because they will say he's biased. When all he did was state a technical fact based on his years of experience. But gamers today don't want that because it insults the brand as if they made the brand. Or if they had some part of it, or if it aligns with them, or as if the developers are talking shit about them directly. How you guys ended up associating yourselves and your personality with a plastic console is beyond me. Like, listen, I enjoy PlayStation. I'm a primary PlayStation dude. But the insults, the mistakes, or the errors, or whatever, is not a reflection of me. I'm not responsible for anything PlayStation does. I'm not the one who's designing it, who's creating the products and stuff like that. I'm not answering up to Sony boards, whatever. I enjoy the product as long as the product delivers the stuff for me to enjoy. But now we can't have developers talk technical facts or address issues within the industry because now cheering for a specific platform has to be catered to, which makes no sense. If developers can't tell us the real deal behind these consoles or products, then who can? You expect The companies, to tell you the truth, understand this. When you look at the reality, right? Whether you like it or not, weaker hardware holds back stronger hardware because games are made for the minimum spec. That is an absolute fact. It's always been that way. I don't understand how this conversation changed this gen. People are changing something that's been well known for generations simply to again cater to a console. Understand this. What you guys are doing, ignoring reality just to cater to Microsoft's decision, that only hurts you. All right? That only benefits the company. The more people damage control this, that's what Microsoft wants. Hell, so even Sony wants that. All companies want you to believe that weaker hardware doesn't hold back gaming. They want you to believe it because it allows them to make games at the lowest common denominator so they can achieve mass sales by having games made to a broader audience. If they were actually held to the standard that, like, no, you made the Xbox Series X, or the PS5, you will be that. Those consoles will be the minimum spec, going forward, right? Then that would be a tougher time for them, because now they will have to get PC architecture equivalent specs, if they were held to that standard, and all that. But because now we have gamers who are emotionally making decisions, because the idea is to protect the plastic box, vice protect what we get out of gaming, that somehow that will actually help the company, and actually we lose out. We want to see what the best versions of the consoles can do, right? But Microsoft simply created the Xbox Series S simply to capitalize on a cheaper price point to try to get console sales. The console was not designed with pushing the latest technology in mind. That was the Series X. The Series S is just simply, let's see if we can just get a cheap console out there to gain some traction to games themselves. That's all that console is. But as far as pushing gaming forward, that console's not doing that. And that's just a reality. There's no argument that. It's been like that. The conversation of hardware, holding back hardware is old, and it's still relevant to this day. But the difference this generation, and I see it across the board, period, it's not just gaming. It's like especially politics, it's just across all types of subject where people prefer emotional view. Like an expert can't talk a fact or a technical fact because if people don't like hearing it, then that's wrong. It's crazy, bro. We got to the point. So now, to go on, that developer, shut down his Twitter. Now everybody's like, oh, see, he was wrong. No, he wasn't wrong. What he did was he closed his account, but it's not permanently closed. If anybody has done a closed Twitter account, you have up to 30 days to reopen it. So you still have your account. Like, the moment you close it, doesn't disappear. It's good for, up to 30 days. All he did was just probably shut it down so that way nobody would just keep adding him. Because I could just imagine the amount of harassment. I can't even imagine how many tweets his job got saying that, oh, this guy, all the crime. Listen, I retweeted his post and I was getting, a lot of bullshit. But the difference is, I'm built for that. That's like, and I don't work for the gaming industry, so I have nothing to lose. Like, so I'm not a game developer, so it's not like I'm worried about losing my job or impacting, a game development company. Not me, and I enjoy the agony that I get for Twitch because it's funny. It's actually funny seeing how much pain this causes people, which it shouldn't cause pain, but it does. So it's different. But I cannot imagine how much stuff he's getting. He's probably getting stuff in the thousands. So he just temporarily shut down his account because you guys, it's emotional, man. I mean, we got to the point where developers that work in the industry, they work on these consoles, and they're telling you, yo, this is a problem. And y'all don't want to listen. And you know what? Because you don't want to listen, Microsoft is going to keep on doing this. Hell, to be honest, PlayStation could do that shit next year. They could release the PlayStation 6 And they'll have like, the $500 one, and then they release like a $300 one. Because gamers accept the bullshit. Because it's emotional. It's about protecting the brand. Instead of listening to developers who, technically speaking, third-party developers are unbiased. If a third-party developer is not unbiased, then who can? What? 343 Studios? They're the unbiased devs when it comes to things Xbox? No. Third-party developers are probably the most unbiased because they have to work on everything or every platform that they're told to work on. So if they're telling you, yo, I'm working on with the Xbox Series X, I'm working with the PlayStation 5, the Series S, and PC, and I'm telling you this is a problem, you might want to listen. But instead, you choose to be butthurt. This is your boy Puerto Rock77. You let me know what you think, man. Let me know. Let me know if what's happening with Xbox can eventually encroach over PlayStation, because I think it is. Because in my opinion, I think there's some dudes in PlayStation. Hell, there's dudes I talk to think PS4 ain't holding back PS5, which is, it is what it is. You let me know. Hit up the comment section, have the conversation. Let's start this up. Tell me what you think. All right, this is your boy Puerto Rock 77. I'm out of here. You guys take care. Peace.